Hi guys and welcome back. Well, we've got another classic gaming review for you, and this one, Viewpoint for the Neo Geo, it comes recommended by Anthony at AtariAge.com. Let's take a look. Right, Viewpoint. The game was developed by ACOM and it was published by Sammy. The designers, programmers, artists and composers, no chance am I going to try and pronounce those names, not a cat in hell's chance. The game originally made its way onto the arcades and then was quickly followed by the Neo Geo, AES and CD systems. It also made its way to the FM Towns Marty, the PlayStation, the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, and the Sharp X68000. The original release date was 1992, but the last console it was on was the PlayStation, which was released in 1995. And this is, of course, a shooter. As I've already mentioned, Sammy's the game's original publisher, but it was the only game for the Neo Geo multi-system hardware that they actually did. The other publishers were SNK for the Neo Geo and AES CD system, Ving Co-Limited for the FM's Towns Marty, Nexus Interact for the X68000, and Electronic Arts for the PlayStation. There was a port of the game due out on the Sega Saturn and it was planned for 1996, but unfortunately this got cancelled, and believe it or not, they also planned it for the Game Boy Color, but again it got cancelled. As there is no story for this, as usual, it's going to get 8 out of 10. Right, well that's just about enough waffle, let's get on with this review. Audio. Well, I'll start off with the music, and well, that synthesized voice I think is brilliant. The music itself is not memorable, I'll give it that, but it's a funky enough soundtrack and it certainly does suit the game. As for the sound effects from the lasers, the explosions and everything else that goes on around you, it's just brilliant. It's what you expect, it's just typical of fantastic sound from the Neo Geo, and for that it's going to get a 9 out of 10. Controls. Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Neo Geo games come with a very simple control system, and this game is no exception. It's up, down, left and right. One button will fire your main weapons, hold the button down and you'll fire what I'm calling a cannon blast. Press the other button and you're letting off your bomb, or your smart bomb if you like. The only gripe I've really got is the fact that you can't seem to speed up the ship, or at least I couldn't find that. And it would have been nicer if I could have got the ship to move maybe a little bit quicker. That's because I'm getting old and I can't move quick enough, but it would have been nice to have that option. Anyway, it is a pick up and play game of any age, but it is one more for the adults if you want to try and master it. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. Graphics. Well, I think these are exceptionally beautiful. Bear in mind, this game was made back in 1992, and these graphics are not that far off today's standards. Look at the level of detail, the amount of colour, the shading, the explosions, everything that happens on screen all at once. The level of detail in this game is exceptional, and it is breathtakingly beautiful. And for that, it's going to get 9 out of 10. Gameplay. Now, as you can see, I'm only playing the game as one player, but, well, I would have said there's 1 to 2 players, but going by what I've read, player 1 and player 2 can only play one after another in the service mode, although simultaneously gameplay can be enabled. Now that's something I've not looked into, and to be honest, I don't know whether or not you can do it on the home systems. Somebody else will have to advise me on that one. You've got your normal main weapons, and as you can see, you can pick up additional ships, which certainly does help. You've also got 3 bombs that you can use. One of them's like a big fire wave that will go up the screen. The other, I don't know how to describe it, maybe a bit like a nuclear blast that slowly moves around. And the last one is basically a load of missiles that would be fired at the enemy ship. You have got 6 levels that you're going to have to make your way through, and I'm going to say now, thank you for continues, because this is certainly one of the most hardest games I've ever played in my life. It isn't easy. I've tried to see if I can work out the plan of attacks. It's not that easy. It is a very difficult and extremely challenging game. This isn't for everyone. There's a few times I nearly threw the controller through the telly, and my wife at one point came up the stairs and said, "Oh, I can hear a lot of screaming up here." Yes, quite right. Well, I think that's the beauty of this game. It's not easy. You've got to master it. You've got to become good, and you've got to really work at it. This would have made a ton at the arcades. People throwing in the coins to get those continues. I can fully understand why. It's a brilliant game. It is, though, extremely challenging and, dare I say, a little bit frustrating at times. For that, I am going to give it, though, still 8 out of 10. Overall, well, I'm going to sum this game up in a few little words. Love to hate you. This has fantastic visual effects. The sound is brilliant. I really do enjoy this game, but I bloody hate it at the same time because it is that challenging. It's not a bullet storm, not by any means, but I certainly can't work a pattern out. I actually don't think to a point there is a pattern, to be quite honest, not on some of the ships, and this is a game you're going to have to challenge yourself, and that's where I think a lot of the fun is from, because I want to complete this game. I haven't. I didn't get past level 3 if I'm quite honest with you, but it is a game that I will be playing time and time again. I don't think it's the game though I'll be pulling off the shelf week in, week out, because it's got that little bit of frustration in there as well. And I don't want to suddenly decide, you know what, that's it, I'm not playing this game ever again. But it certainly is a game that I've thoroughly enjoyed. And this is getting an overall score of 8.2 out of 10. Well, that's Viewpoint. It certainly is a game that I am enjoying, and yeah, I'm not sick to death of it at the moment, but it is frustrating at times. It's terribly frustrating, especially when you just cannot seem to work out that pattern. But you know what? I'm enjoying it at the moment, but I'm not going to be playing it week in, week out, because I don't want to upset myself and then never play it again. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've certainly enjoyed bringing this one to you. If you want to drop me any comments, please do so. If you can't find me on social media, just Google Betty Hawk Clinic and you will find me. And I did make it to the giant crab at the end here. There you are. Thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll catch you again. Take care.